What if a single sentence could silence anyone without raising your voice, without anger, only through your calm? We've all experienced that moment. You say something perfectly reasonable, yet the other person shuts you down with tone, not with argument. You walk away frustrated and drained, even though you were right. Today, you will discover 5 powerful Stoic phrases. Simple, elegant responses capable of disarming a manipulator, a superior, or someone close, all while preserving your calm. And trust me, the third one is devastating. Part why. I don't need to raise my voice to be right. Most people mistake authority for volume. They believe that by shouting louder, they earn respect. But the truth is, the more you lose your composure, the more you lose your power. The more you try to dominate through tone, the more you reveal an inner weakness. Because those who truly know their worth never need to prove it through noise. So next time someone raises their voice, breathe. Look them straight in the eye and say calmly, "I don't need to raise my voice to be right." This phrase lifts you above the noise without running from the discussion. It places you instantly above the conflict. Not with arrogance, but with quiet confidence. It shows that you master emotion, that you control the room, that nothing shakes you. And often, in the silence you create, the other person realizes they've lost themselves in their own noise. That's when your calm becomes strength, a silent authority that words cannot reach. The Stoics understood this. Those who cannot control their tongue become slaves to their emotions. Those who react without thought surrender control of the moment. In contrast, those who remain masters of themselves naturally command respect. Clarity is born from restraint, and true power from serenity. And in that precise moment, the person before you understands. You're no longer discussing, you're leading. Not through force, but through stability. Without effort, without raising your voice, purely through your presence, your gaze, and that quiet confidence that speaks louder than words. If this first phrase already made you reflect, it means you carry the desire to grow without letting yourself be dominated. So subscribe now here. We learn each week to think and speak with the wisdom of the Stoics. And stay until the third phrase. It completely shifts the balance of any conflict. Part 2. The way you speak says more about you than it does about me. When someone attacks you, the instinct is to respond, to restore the truth, to defend your image, to prove that you're right. But that's exactly what they want. They're seeking your reaction, not your response. Because the moment you react, you enter their game, and you lose your center. Instead of taking the bait, simply hold up a mirror. A short, calm, yet disarming phrase. The way you speak says more about you than it does about me. It's a mirror statement. It doesn't wound, it reveals. It doesn't add tension, it brings awareness. And suddenly, the person hears themselves. They realize the harshness, sometimes even the absurdity, of the words. They feel the weight of what they've said, and often they fall silent. Because deep down, they understand that you're not playing the same game. Marcus Aurelius summed it up in a single sentence. The best revenge is not to be like your enemy. It's a lesson in detachment and inner strength. Not resembling anger is how you rise above it. Not responding to attack is how you keep the power to choose your reaction. This response allows you to win on 2 fronts. You remain calm, and you remind them, without saying it, that they've just exposed themselves. You force them to look into a mirror they weren't expecting. But the next one, it doesn't just disarm others. It redefines the rules of the game. And once you understand it, your entire relationship with conflict changes. Part 3. We'll talk again when we can do it with respect. Some conversations aren't really conversations. They're disguised battles, exchanges where no one truly listens, where each person simply wants the last word. And in those moments, no matter what you say, tension rises and words outrun thought. When someone constantly interrupts, attacks, or tries to dominate you, you don't have to stay. You don't have to lower yourself. You don't have to prove your worth to someone determined to trample on it. Staying would mean accepting their rules, and that's exactly what you refuse. So simply say, without anger, without raising your voice, "We'll talk again when we can do it with respect." You're not running away. You're setting a boundary. You're reminding them that a discussion only has meaning when both sides are capable of listening. And most importantly, you're showing that your calm is not weakness. It's a line that cannot be crossed. The one who refuses to respect that boundary suddenly finds themselves facing only their own reflection, stripped of their playing field. You remind them that speaking to you requires earning your... It's not coldness, it's dignity. Epictetus once said, "You cannot control what others do, but you can control what you accept." And this phrase captures exactly that. It is mature, firm, and instantly disarming. Because in that moment, you take away their right to continue on their terms. You close the door to chaos and remain on the side of mastery. And you, tell me in the comments, which phrase speaks to you the most so far? Which one do you plan to use in your next argument? I love reading your experiences. They always inspire the next videos. Part 4. I'd rather not continue this conversation. Sometimes there's nothing left to save. The other person isn't trying to understand. They just want to be right. And you can feel it. No matter what words you choose, the dialogue is already closed. In those moments, continuing to speak only drains you for nothing. That's when you raise your shield. I'd rather not continue this conversation. You don't ask for permission. You don't apologize. You end it calmly, clearly, definitively. This phrase doesn't try to persuade. It declares a decision. It draws a clean line between what you accept and what you don't. This sentence severs the toxic connection instantly. And above all, it restores your control over your own energy. It reminds you that your time and attention have value, and they shouldn't be wasted on exchanges that lead nowhere. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Choose not to be harmed, and you won't be." That's exactly what you're doing here. You're choosing peace, not defeat. You're refusing the poison, without hatred, without noise. You step away with dignity, and it's that withdrawal that makes you stronger. Because sometimes, closing a door is the greatest act of strength. It's refusing to descend to where the other expected you to fall. And the fifth one, it doesn't just protect you. It grounds you deeply in respect. The respect you owe to yourself. Part 5. That's your opinion, and I respect it, but I don't share it. Not every disagreement comes from an enemy. Sometimes it's our loved ones, friends, family, colleagues, all convinced they know what's best for us. Their intentions aren't bad, but their certainty becomes a subtle form of pressure. They want to help, to guide, sometimes even to protect you. And without realizing it, they cross the line between advice and intrusion. In those moments, this phrase becomes your anchor. That's your opinion, and I respect it, but I don't share it. You're not fighting. You're affirming who you are. You're not trying to impose your view. only to state your own. It's a peaceful way of saying, I hear you, but I remain myself. You're saying, I listen, I respect you, but I think for myself. And that's where a quiet, unshakable form of inner freedom begins. Seneca once said, to be a slave to the opinion of others is the worst kind of prison. And this phrase is the key that unlocks that prison. It allows you to stay open without being swayed, to be firm without being closed. You no longer need to be right to be at peace, because when you stop trying to convince, you start inspiring respect. You show that your calm comes from a place no one can touch, and that's when your calm becomes your greatest power. Not the kind that crushes, but the kind that enlightens. If you want to learn how to respond with wisdom instead of anger, share this video with someone who needs it. And don't forget to subscribe. Here we turn every tense situation into a lesson in self-mastery. Remember this: respect cannot be demanded. It's earned through calm, clarity, and consistency. And the more you practice these phrases, the more you'll uncover a simple truth. The silence of others becomes the reflection of your inner strength. Thank you for watching until the end. And remember, self-mastery is the highest form of power.